We have breaking news out of the Primeira Liga in Portugal, as today there have been two managerial changes. Rui Borges has left Vitória and has been hired by Sporting, who sacked João Pereira, the man who replaced Ruben Amorim. In response, Vitória hired Daniel Sousa, who we last saw at Braga, Vitória's arch rival, and he was fired after one league game, a game in which he didn't even lose. Daniel Sousa spent 4 games at Braga. 3 of them were Europa League qualifiers. He had won 2 of those games, and the other 2 games were draws. He actually did not lose any games at Braga, yet was still fired. Well, now Sousa is at Braga's arch rival, Vitória, here in Guimarães. So now the question is, why was Sporting looking for a manager? Well, it didn't quite work out. João Pereira, he was put into an impossible situation to replace Ruben Amorim, who had his release clause triggered by Manchester United. Why was Manchester United looking for a manager? Well, Manchester United chose that blithering idiot Erik ten Hag over the greatest player that ever lived, Cristiano Ronaldo. So Manchester United did what they do way too often, and they went to Sporting. Manchester United seems to have some kind of a bizarre infatuation with Sporting. It was Cristiano Ronaldo. They bought Nani from Sporting, Bruno Fernandes, and now Ruben Amorim. Now, it's not working at Manchester United with Ruben Amorim. In their last 7 games, Manchester United has 2 wins, 0 draws, and 5 losses. In the 10 games that Amorim has been the manager, they've given up 19 goals. So, yeah, maybe Ruben Amorim there is kind of scratching his head and saying, well, it worked against Firenze and Boavista. Well, look, I love Portuguese football, but let's be honest here, it's not the English Premier League. Now, the other thing that took place is, okay, Amorim can go to Manchester United. He can take his assistants with him. The problem is, you still have those same crappy players. So now Manchester United is just not making any progress under Ruben Amorim. Not exactly his fault. He still has Erik ten Hag's players who stink. But the lesson to be learned here is you don't leave a club, if you're a manager, to go to another club in the middle of the season. I've mentioned it here on this channel before. The last high-profile name in which did that was Steven Gerrard, who left Rangers of Scotland, went to Aston Villa of the English Premier League. It failed miserably there. It was a complete embarrassment. It was a total shit show. So, Steven Gerrard is in Saudi Arabia now. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, because of Manchester United choosing Ten Hag over Cristiano Ronaldo, that is what led to the true creation of the Saudi League. Now, there was always that money, that oil money in Saudi Arabia, but it was completely ignored until Cristiano Ronaldo took the deal with, I don't even know the name of that stupid club, Al Nasser, yeah. And all those teams start with Al anyway, so they're impossible to memorize. But now we look at what happened today. And yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction for Sporting. João Pereira was in over his head. But he was in an impossible situation. I don't think anybody would have succeeded in the situation that he was put into, replacing Ruben Amorim. Now Rui Borges, he has the luxury of not replacing Ruben Amorim. He has the luxury of replacing João Pereira, who failed. I'm not exactly sure why Sporting went for Rui Borges instead of Daniel Sousa, who ended up at Vitória. Rui Borges had only been at Vitória for about 4 months. He came over from Moreirense. He led Moreirense to a 6th place finish last season. The thing is, Moreirense is not exactly missing Rui Borges right now. They're sitting in 8th place. Technically, it's a tie for 7th. They have the same amount of points as Casapia. Casapia has a tiebreaker on them. They're only 3 points behind Vitória for the 6th position in which they were in last season. With Rui Borges, Vitória was creating a lot of chances, but they were not finishing them at all. It was they I don't want to say they were dominating the game against Fiorentina in the Conference League, but they certainly controlled the action as they did a few days ago against Nacional, but there's just absolutely no finishing. None whatsoever. Vitória had 3 straight draws, and in the Conference League, after winning their first 4 games, group stage games, they drew their last 2. And the way that they had that draw against Nacional, it was a stoppage time corner, and just not finishing their chances, you could kind of make the case that the Vitória players had begun tuning out Rui Borges. So, as a Vitória socio now, I'm not the least bit upset that Borges is gone. It wasn't working. The results were getting worse, and it was really starting to kind of alienate the fans. Vitória fans are extremely passionate, and there is only one club in the city of Guimarães, that is Vitória. Despite the fact that Moreirense is right there, despite the fact that just about everywhere in Portugal everyone in Portugal, I should say, has an affinity for one of the big 3, whether it be Sporting, Benfica, or Porto. That is not the case in Guimarães. There is only Vitória. After the game ended, the Vitória fans in my section, a lot of them were giving the team the middle finger. And the ultras, known as the White Angels, they were pretty much headed for the doors, headed for the gates as soon as the game ended. The Vitória players were going to salute them, but there wasn't anyone left to salute. So I definitely think that Vitória comes out the winner in all of this, in this coaching carousel, this managerial merry-go-round. I think Daniel Sousa is a step up from Rui Borges. I'm just scratching my head as to why Sporting didn't go for Sousa. I love the fact that Vitória has an opportunity to really stick it to their arch rival Braga now. And I feel today that there's new life for Vitória, and there's also new life for Sporting. I think they're in a better situation than they were yesterday with João Pereira. I just think it could have been better for Sporting. I'm a little confused by their choice here. Sporting ended up getting something like 11 million euros for Ruben Amorim, 10 for him and 1 million for his coaching staff. And they had to pay something to Vitória today for Rui Borges. I don't know what they paid. That's been kept under wraps, but what's the point? Just take your Amorim money. I don't get it. Sporting really could have hired an even better manager. And I think the only thing that upsets me as a Vitória socio today is that Rui Borges is already at Sporting. And quite frankly, that's agitating for Vitória fans and socios. The reason why is, well, Sporting is coming to Guimarães on January 3rd to play Vitória. I'm not a Borges guy, but, Borges knows the club now. He knows their weaknesses, and you can rest assured that that's going to get exploited. Hopefully, enough strategy can be changed under Daniel Sousa, but if we all remember here, when Amorim decided to leave Sporting said, no, you're going to stick around until that game against Braga on November 11th. And he did. I don't know why Vitória did not have the wherewithal to say, no, you are not going to Sporting until after that January 3rd game. Frustrating as it may be, again, I think Vitória is in a much better place today. So is Sporting. And, it'll be good for the league, I guess. Hopefully. What FIFA really has to do is put a stop to managers leaving a club in the middle of the season to go to another one. It's wrecking too many seasons. It's ruining too many clubs. And it's just ridiculous that the whole Ruben Amorim situation is affecting fans in Guimarães. I want to thank you all for watching. If you want more videos about moving to Portugal, the process of getting there, Portuguese, football, anything Portugal related, please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. These are the top ways to help a content creator here on YouTube. Again, thank you all for watching, and we'll be back in a few days, folks. Have a good one.